Adelaide in 1990, a one-day match between New Zealand and England, part of that World Series competition in the 1990-91 season. New Zealand had started off the series with a pretty comprehensive loss to Australia. They went to Adelaide and played England. England won the toss and put New Zealand in. John Wright was opening the batting with Andrew Jones, and it's John Wright facing up to Devon Malcolm.
It's in the air. Second slip's going for it, and he's gone. Right out caught. Caught by the extra bounce there, Atherton the fieldsman, and Devon Malcolm gets a valuable breakthrough.
Devon Malcolm is genuinely a very fast bowler.
Hello, it's been called no ball. Here's a sensation at the Adelaide Oval. Umpire Ian Thomas has called that no ball because it was above the batsman's shoulder, and John Wright's been called back. So already a sensation in this one-day international. A very courageous call. What a stupid rule.
The laws of cricket state that a ball must have carried over the head of the batsman in the stance position. Let's have a look at this. You judge for yourself. I'm inclined to agree with you, Bill. I mean, you're really taking away the teeth of a bowler when you call that not out.
It's a courageous call, but what a foolish law. What a mess that was. And the Englishman will be stunned by that. Umpire Ian Thomas put under pressure by a law that is stupid, to say the least. He swings and a miss. That's fair enough. He just cannot afford to be defensive. He must take a chance or two. It's only a 50-over match. There's plenty of batting. Let's get on with it in the first 15 overs. Maybe a bit of pad there. That ball got through Jones. Looking to drive.
Very little animation from Alan Lamb at first slip. You can see in the play of Andrew Jones, he's certainly trying to get on with the job. But I think Alan Lamb summed that up when it was ever so close. Went through between bat and pad, got the deflection just below the knee roll.
Devon Malcolm bowls to John Wright. Wide called.
Well, that takes extras along to 7 in that total of 13. We're now in the 8th over. Have a look at this. Devon Malcolm. He falls away a little bit in that delivery stride. He's having a few problems changing from left-hander to right-hander in his direction, and New Zealanders should be trying to rotate the strike, working that. Oh, letting the ball go through the keeper, my goodness.
Yes, well, they're not batting with any confidence whatsoever. They need points from this game, New Zealand. They were thrashed by Australia on Thursday evening. John Wright, a very experienced campaigner, a very good batsman. In trouble here at the Adelaide Oval, can't get the ball away. Big shout from behind the wicket from wicketkeeper and first slip. The ball may be swinging down the leg side.
Yes, definitely down the leg side. Englishman have got no problems, but Alan Lamb, notice, shook his head then.
It's a good shot. He chips it away. Didn't quite time it, but looking for the gap. And gets 2 runs. Andrew Jones is a strong onside player. He'll look to clip the ball away. Eddie Hemmings is down at mid-wicket.
Well, that looks as though it could be a calf. I mean, Eddie Hemmings, he hasn't played a lot of cricket. We were talking about him being a weaker link. He's had to really try hard to pick up the ball and throw back all in the one action against the body. And in doing so, he's obviously really stretched the muscle to the limit. He's having trouble standing on it. Look at this. He picks up, tries to throw against the body. And now in trying to regain himself, that's when it happened. That second pace after throwing, and down he goes almost for the count. I would say that he would be very lucky to participate much more in this match.
In the 8th over, England no wicket for New Zealand, no wicket for 16 against a England attack that's been a little bit inaccurate. It's gone. Yes, finally flashes outside the off stump. Through it goes, a faint edge, and England breakthrough. New Zealand 1 for 16.
Well, good work by the Englishmen. They pressure, and in the finish it got too much for Andrew Jones. He tried a couple of times to force the ball on the offside. The foot not too far in terms of the pitch of the ball. A lot of distance there. The edge taken, catch easily. So New Zealand have lost their first wicket in a low score after 8 overs, 16 runs.
Well, that's the situation here at the Adelaide Oval when rain stopped play. It was at 10:47 local time. New Zealand 1 for 22 after 11 overs. John Wright was on 8. Andrew Jones back in the pavilion. Court Smith bowled Malcolm for 6. In fact, that should be caught by the wicketkeeper, Court Russell. And the wicket going to Devon Malcolm, 1 for 12. The fall of wickets for wicket. Andrew Jones, 16.
Well fielded, and he knocks it on. The first boundary for New Zealand. Angus Fraser did well. The run rate needs to be lifted dramatically in this 41 over match. It's only now 3.21, so they want it up about 5 or 6. The 19th over. On, Gower, good pair of hands. Caught it nicely, it was low and it was sharp. Crowe out for 16.
The angle doing the job here. Right arm around the wicket. Should I say over the wicket. One just going away with the arm. Yeah, a snappy reflex catch around about the ankles. It was sharp, just when you least expected it. So there's a wicket to Eddie Hemmings. Martin Crowe, a painless stay there. 16 off 32. New Zealand 2 for 62.
Good shot from John Wright. Just short of clearing the fence. And that'll be rather annoying for the captain, Alan Lamb, because that ball bouncing between the fieldsman and the fence, that never ever pleases a captain.
That's a good shot. He's pierced the field between short cover and Angus Fraser out at mid-off and gave Fraser no chance at all.
Good shot. That'll tremendous way to bring up the 50. That's the second time that he's driven Hemmings through that gap. Both times he's reached the boundary. In the air, dropped. Lamb, the man who'd just come across to that position, is the captain, so you really can't go crook at him, but the bowler won't be thrilled at all.
It hurts a bowler when that happens, even if he hasn't already pulled a leg muscle. Actually, Lammy looked to me as though he might have damaged a finger there.
It's in the air and he's dropped it. He dived across Lewis. He's a good fieldsman. He made some ground to get that. Knocked it down but couldn't hold on to a hot chance.
Well, it's an uppish drive, but I think Chris Lewis is setting off to dive, really, before the ball got there. He really got there before the ball. I think if he'd have stretched for it without diving, he'd have caught it.
It's got to be wide. He's out. In fact, he got a tickle. Wow, that ball going way down the leg side, and Wright went for the flick away. A faint edge, and Russell did the rest. Poor delivery, but a very valuable wicket.
Well, this is just what I said John Wright doesn't want to do. Absolutely strangled from an innocuous ball down the leg side. He could have hit it anywhere behind square leg, and he's got himself out. And New Zealand score now 3 for 114.
That's nearly caught. My word, good effort by Gower. He went for the big mark, 2 hands at backward point. That almost in both hands. He flew to his left. He's fielded brilliantly today, David Gower.
He has, Billy. He's a very good fielder. He's athletic, he's acrobatic, and I'm pretty disappointed. I think he will be.
And that is a useful shot for New Zealand. Third man is very square, and that's always a safe boundary. These two have added 50 runs in partnership. It's been a very useful partnership because the 51 coming off just 51 deliveries, and you can add another 4 to that to make it 55 now from 52. Beautiful struck. This has been a disaster over for Devon Malcolm. He's been the bowler picked out by Captain Alan Lamb to bowl the 9 overs. Alan Lamb might be a little sorry now that he chose Devon Malcolm. That's good batting once again. There's no one out at mid-off. Rutherford getting himself into a position where he could go safely over mid-off, and that brings up his 50. It's been a good 50 for New Zealand from Ken Rutherford. He's gone. Gladstone Small brought back on at the river end to bowl his last 2 overs, and he does the job for Alan Lamb, getting rid of Rod Latham. So that 71-run partnership is ended with the 63rd delivery.
Been a very persistent spell by Gladstone Small. He really has bowled line and length. You try to hit across it, trying to hit to the short boundary.
That was crazy batting. Wandering all over the place, you give yourself no chance at all, and Gladstone Small has hit the stumps for the 2nd time in this over.
It's one thing for fancy footwork, but to have your head going in the complete opposite direction to the ball. Look at this, the head going across the popping crease, the ball going into the stumps, and probably in the end a just result. Good effort from Gladstone Small. Great knock from Rutherford. Nice half century. New Zealand 5 for 188.
And he's gone again, so that's 3 on the trot. Bowled. The English bowlers, Gladstone Small and Angus Fraser, bowling very accurately. Chris Harris is out, and so 40 overs have been bowled. New Zealand 6 for 199.
The tail trying to answer the call after a slow start and is playing the wrong line. No more explanation needed. He's hit down the wrong line. The ball straight through. Beats the outside edge. Over go the timber. Angus Fraser picks up a wicket. Harris is out for 4.
Oh, good start. That's a 6. That's gone over. De Gaulle picked it up sweetly. Beautifully timed hook shot. Pivoting at the crease and whipping it over square leg for 6.
Magnificent start to the innings. Pringle dropping too short, and Gow using the short boundary there. And a brilliant piece of fielding by the man in the red hat. That ball really flew off the cement.
He's gone, so he only wins for 1 hit. He's out for 6, driving the next delivery straight to cover. Martin Crowe took the catch, so David Gower is out for 6.
Not happy with himself, David Gower. He hit that one right off the middle of the bat, but straight down Martin Crowe's throat. Well taken there. So Chris Pringle delighted after having been hit for 6. England 1 for 6.
Oh, it's a glorious shot. He's a beautiful square cutter. He hits it with timing and power. Very strong man. That went like a bullet.
Make that 2 loose deliveries now from Pringle. They've cost him 10. Not quite as hard that shot as the one that he hit at Trent Bridge in '89 off Merv Hughes. That is the hardest hit square cut I've ever seen in my life, and I think the hardest I'll ever expect to see.
Oops! Oh, went down. Carried. Rutherford got his hand to it. Put it down.
I think he was put off by the keeper. The keeper started to go, and I reckon it just upset Rutherford a little bit. At first slip, you always know when the keeper starts out going, and when he starts out going, he really should keep going, and Ian Smith knew it. He hung the head.
Well fielded. 1 for 14.
Gone. Great catch. That'll get into classic catches. He gave that something right off the middle of the bat. And it's Martin Crowe again. But that's trouble for England, because Robin Smith looked in good touch.
Well, a full-blooded, flat-batted square drive by Robin Smith. Hits it right off the meat of the bat, straight at the fieldsman, and he hangs on to it. Smashing catch that. Great disappointment for Robin Smith. But New Zealand are absolutely cock-a-hoon, and England are 2 for 20.
Beautiful stroke, but he just got it in the air a little, and Martin Crowe hung on to it. Oh, good shot. But one Pierce square cutter taking the place of the other, Robin Smith. And Lamb has played that quite beautifully. That's going to be a long chase. Depends if the outfield is slow, they should run 4. I've even seen 5s run on this ground. But it won't be with Lamb and Atherton. They'll just get 4.
Ooh, that was close. A quick single there by Alan Lamb. But he's not the fastest of runners. Getting on a bit now in his 30s. Quite stocky. Drops it down in front of him. Quick call by Atherton. And my goodness me, that was out.
Just short of third man and wide of Willie Watson. So a fortunate boundary there for Alan Lamb.
Willie Watson, I think, dived just a fraction early. He should have perhaps taken another pace. Lamb going to the vacant area down at third man. Willie Watson, he's got the task of cutting it then. It was a big dive. I think he dived over, across, around it and through it, but couldn't get a glove on it.
It's gone. Yes, good sharp catch. That was a quick delivery from Danny Morrison. Atherton got the edge and Smith did well. That's the breakthrough New Zealand needed.
Certainly did do well. Almost took his head off. It came as a change of pace from Danny Morrison. It deceived Atherton and almost deceived Ian Smith. That was really well bowled by Morrison. A much quicker delivery.
26 over stage, New Zealand 3 for 91. Big shout. He's forward. Umpire Ian Thomas. And a good look.
A question of whether or not Morris played a stroke at that. And if he didn't play a stroke, he would have been very close to LBW. Difficult for the umpires to work out sometimes if a stroke has legitimately been played or if the batsman is merely keeping his bat behind his pad.
Nice for the stumping, Smithy. He had him off quick. My word, he did. Big shout to umpire Ian Thomas's square leg.
I don't think Ian Smith's all that pleased either. It's a lovely piece of work.
He's gone for that. That's well placed. His man getting under it. He's dropped it. Oh, that was catchable. That was a very costly miss. Richard Petrie, he got there, he moved well. It was a white ball, he saw it all the way and he put it down.
Great sight, the white ball. Half the time using a red ball, you don't pick it up until it's hit the boundary or reached the fielder. This was visible to both Lamb and to Petrie. Made quite good ground to it, actually, but they might rue that.
Got him! Wow, that's a good effort by the bowler. Willie Watson struck back, Lamb out for 49. And New Zealand in this match at 4 for 106.
Now the odds have changed a little with Lamb being the man to go. Everything will depend on John Morris now. That was rather an airy-fairy sort of show. Was he trying to push the one for the 50? However, it's almost immaterial because he's now on his way back to the pavilion, having made 49. England 4 for 106.
Certainly a powerfully built man, John Morris. Much in the mould of Rod Latham, who gave it a bit of a touch-up for New Zealand. Backward square leg. No, he can't get to it. One bounce over the pickets. Pretty useful boundary there for John Morris. Oh, that's a good piece of bowling by Petrie. So that helps New Zealand's cause no end. Jack Russell on the way. So the 5th wicket is down with the score 126.
Clever bowling by Petrie. Jack Russell looking to give himself room to spear it on the offside. He's looking to angle it on the offside, but Petrie follows him right into his pads and hits the leg stump. Very fine, clever bowling. England in trouble at 5 for 126.
That's beautifully hit. And once again, the misfield, and that will allow Morris to retain the strike. And that's the sort of thing that's going to hurt New Zealand. 15 off the over. It's 5 for 141. Mid-off. Oh, now that really should have been caught. Andrew Jones is the man there. Now, a good outfielder should have swallowed that. That's the one that Morris missed before the full toss, but he didn't miss on that occasion. So they're starting to become a little ragged, New Zealand, as the 150 comes up off 207 balls. Now that's given mid-on a chance, has it? And once again, absolute mess being made of that. Chris Harris is at long on. That ball was a long way up in the air. He had a lot of time to get under it. Mid-off. Now can he get it? Danny Morrison? Yes, well taken. Finally they've grabbed one. So the pressure that was mounting on the England batsman is finally told, and Chris Lewis is the man out.
Well, just as England were beginning to run them ragged, particularly Morris and Lewis with a bit of help from each other, Chris Lewis skies this one, a good straight hit, stays in the air a long time, gives Morrison time to judge it quite nicely and toss it back very calmly.
Full pitch, he's dropped, oh, straight to him at mid-wicket. And Morris throws his head in the air. It was Rutherford. Well, well, well. That would have put the cat amongst the pigeons, Max Walker.
Here's Rutherford had a let off when Lewis dropped him at mid-off when he was batting, but that was a very tough one. I think we should be fair to that. That was probably the more difficult of some of the catches that were seen put down by the New Zealand fieldsman.
Look at the determination in this man's face. Big hit, going over towards the mid-wicket boundary. Over she goes. Bounced on top of the fence. That would be 4 if it struck the pickets. Yes, good umpiring. You couldn't quite tell from here. So that's 50 for John Morris. A fine innings for England. Gone, he's got one. Yes, caught it, cover point, John Wright. And all of a sudden, England 7 for 173.
Bowler to bowler. Danny Morrison giving Gladstone Small the opportunity to hit out, but he doesn't keep it on the carpet. Just gets through the shot just a little bit too early. Wright accepts the catch, tries to go over cover, not successful. In the sweet spot, in the buckets, in the hands. Gladstone Small is out. So this match very poised at the moment. We'll have an interesting finish. Small out for 5. England 7 for 173.
John Morris goes for it, finds a gap. There's a man out there. He's got him. The 12th man. Did he catch that? It was on the half volley. On the half volley. What a good piece of work. Courageous effort. Charged the ball. Was well struck. He threw himself forward. Harris. What an effort. He's got him. There goes the off stump of Eddie Hemmings. What a finish. A good effort by young Pringle. Not panicking under pressure, keeping the ball well up. Full length. 3 wickets for Pringle.
The young man from Auckland took a wicket in the first over at the SCG, a wicket in the first over here, and now he rattles the stumps at a vital stage of this match. Martin Crowe must be very happy with this young man. What a good future. That is a great sight from the other end of the crease. A bad sound, the click of the bails. So as Eddie Hemmings limps off the ground, partnered by Smith, out for 3, England 8 for 182.
John Morris will be looking for the mid-wicket fence. He's got to go for the fence. He's gone for it. Doesn't quite tumble, but it may be 4. There's a man out. There's a sweeper. He slips over. What a moment to slip over and concede 2 runs. Dear, oh dear, 4 runs. Chris Harris, under pressure, fell over.
Well, he's torn between being absolutely magnificent. We saw that half volley snaffled out there in the same area just a couple of overs back. He dropped a catch. He's bowled reasonably well for a couple of overs, then got hit a bit, batted okay. But now, as we count down, each delivery, there it is, 13 required, 4 balls, 2 wickets in hand, and here we go. Morrison with the ball.
Into mid-off. It feels well, single. Coming back for the second. He's run out. So that keeps John Morris on strike. Not a bad move. And a reminder to Eastern State viewers, we'll be going to the news at 6:30, but it's all happening here at the Adelaide Oval. And that's intelligent running by Angus Fraser, because he's given a strike with 1 wicket remaining to John Morris. Good team cricket.
Here's the big news here is 2 runs look to be on. They took the gamble. A great stop there at mid-off. Angus, the big fella, the huge loping stride, was never going to get him home. So 9 down. 9 down now for 180. The big fella, out he goes. So just 1 remaining. 9 for 187. Angus Fraser out for a duck.
$12 runs to win. He's gone for that. There's a man out there. It's Harris. This time he gets it on the first bounce. So New Zealand probably, and Morris drops his bat in disgust. He knew he had to find the boundary. It's 9 for 189.
He's had to drag it from 2 wide. Not enough meat in the bat. But somewhere close to the bottom, toe of the bat. Not enough pace. And of course he realizes the eventual outcome of this game in his hands. Huge swing, huge swipe. He's hoping that he gets through, and there he is. He says it probably a little aloud.
Malcolm on strike, and he misses. So it will be a victory for New Zealand, and it'll be a well-earned victory too, because one thought that England would have made 200 here. They've got the better of the conditions. It's been a bright, sunny afternoon. Martin Crowe has done a great job as captain. Good bowling changes, and a very good effort from Morrison and Pringle in particular with the balls. Malcolm on strike. He hits it high, long and handsome. The long ons coming around. They're through for 2. They come back for 3. And that is victory for New Zealand. A very good victory. A fine hand by John Morris, not out 63. Malcolm not out 3. 9 for 192 England after the 40 overs. And New Zealand bring off a surprise victory in my mind. A very good effort by their captain. He didn't panic. They dropped 2 or 3 catches at vital stages. But young Pringle and Morrison doing a very good job. Very good spirit this match has been played in. But Morris will be a very happy man for his individual performance, but disappointed in the end.
So there it was, New Zealand beating England at the Adelaide Oval, their first victory in the World Series competition last year, and Martin Crowe's first victory as the New Zealand captain, the start of what turned out to be a very successful season for the New Zealanders in one-day international cricket last year.